All right, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Once again, you're now under the sounds of the voice of Kahan Tazadaq, and this is Yahweh's work. All praises due to Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah. And I want to say to everyone under the sounds of my voice, whenever you embark on a journey to be great, on a journey to make a difference, on a journey to not be like everyone else, you're always going to have a deluge of haters. You're going to have those that attempt to smother your light, to prevent your light from shining. You will have many that they will smile before you. They will pretend that they are for you, but their hearts are filled with jealousy, envy, hate. Yet they force a smile when they're before you. And I'm telling you to look out for people like this. You can never, ever start any journey for greatness without having this hate. They will hate you because your greatness will reflect down as a spotlight, a reminder of what they could have been, or what they should have been, and what they not. And you will shine like a diamond, and they will hate you for it. Such it is with many people. Kahan Tazadaq. They don't have legitimate reasons why they hate Tazadaq. Oh, of course, they laugh before you. Yeah, Taz, man. Yeah, he's on point. But in the meantime, the heart's filled with hate. So, Elder Marty Marr, we gotta talk about our armor of light. We cannot allow anyone to put that light out. They would do things in an attempt to steal your glory. They would pretend to be for you, but they're really against you. They would tend to win your heart, to break you down and destroy you. So we have to talk about our armor of light that only comes to Rourke. Marty, stop me where I'm lying at. Ricky Davis, when he first came over to the true disciples of Christ, the man was in darkness. But as you saw him being around for a little while, Marty, you begin to see an armor of light reflect from him. But what did he do? He turned back from the plow and he went back to the bottle. And those unclean spirits within that bottle, they broke down our brother. And he came out worse than before. Marty, you know what I'm saying is true. Because it is. See, this all goes back to our belief and obedience to Yahweh Shah, or as some of you say, Yahusha. What is our armor? Is the bottle our armor, Marty Mark? La'ah. The liquor bottle is not our armor. Patron is not our armor. Hennessy is not our armor. Grey Goose is not our armor. Our armor is Yahweh Shah. See, mankind's first mistake was to doubt his instructions for living. The greatest power, the supreme Elohim, created man. He gave the man instructions, Marty. He didn't just let him go and do what he wanted to do. He gave him instructions from the beginning. Thou shalt not. Mankind's first mistake was to doubt his instructions for living. We accept his yoke, which means his teachings. When we decide to obey him, only then will we accept his yoke. And submitting to being immersed in his name. We don't know how much at this point, but trust he would train us how to become useful vessels and ambassadors of light. See, every single one of you on this live stream right now, you're supposed to be ambassadors of light. That means you're supposed to reflect your light on others that are in darkness and bring them into the fold. So you got to ask yourself, who have you brought into this fold? Doesn't really matter how many scriptures you know. Don't matter how profound you sound. How many have you brought into this fold? You're supposed to be an ambassador of light. See, when the armies of Egypt pursued Yasha Allah, the Israelites, it was a demonic attack. See, when the battle pursued our good brother Ricky, Marty, it was a demonic attack. The battle has spirits in it. Unclean spirits. He tried to fight it off. As soon as he got out from under the true disciples of Christ, he got out from under the protection of Yahweh Shah. You know I'm not lying, Marty. You could come in here and give a testimony and say, tell him how crazy this man was sounding. Like he was talking witchcraft when you called him last week. We didn't just turn our back on him. Satan got him in his hip pocket. We're supposed to be ambassadors of light. So when the armies of Egypt pursued the Israelites, it was a demonic attack. See, the presence of the name of Yahweh in the cloudy pillar, in that cloudy pillar, it caused the Egyptians pursuing his people to become like chaff. The name. You got Nate saying, don't say the name. What's wrong with you, Nate? Doesn't matter how many followers you got. What you mean, don't say the name? The name is a strong tower of refuge from all the schemes of Shaitan. See, his presence is our armor. It's our clothing. It's clothing us. His presence is clothing us. Yahweh strive with those who strive with me. Fight against those who fight against me. Take hold of shield and armor and rise for my help and draw out spear and lance to meet those who pursue me. Save my life. I am your deliverance. That's from David the psalmist. There he is right here. He's here. He's right here. See, that's the spirit trying to move on him again, Marty. That's from David the psalmist. That's Psalms 35, verse 1 to 3. The spirit was moving on David. Now he's desecrating the name of one of the greatest kings of Israel, a man after the Most High's own heart. You got to be a righteous, clean man to carry that name. See, the presence of the name of Yahweh, it appeared in various forms in the past, such as the burning bush. It appeared in a cloudy pillar of light. And it appeared in human form. Book of Hebrews, right? One tells us Yahweh Shah is the exact representation of his substance, a body he prepared for himself. Don't believe me? Go and read it for yourself. Book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 5. Let me get a reader in here. Let me get Benaiah or someone up in here, man. A reader, man. Let me put a link in the room, man. Marty, you and Benaiah can come on up in here, man. If you're available, Benaiah. David, you need to listen, man. The Ruach was moving on you when you was with TDOC. You listen to your niece. She's a worldly woman. You listen to your brother, that Negro's worldly. Most High took the spirit, the Ruach from you, David. Most High took the Ruach from you. You're walking in darkness. Marty needs you in here to give this testimony, man. We're going to air him out, man. We're going to shame you down and straighten you out. People saw how the transformation that was taking place on you when you was with the true disciples of Christ. You went back to the world. You're following the doctrines of devils. Marty, come on to him telling the witchcraft that this man tried to practice on you. Yeah, Marty kept it to Tazadaq. Can I give him a call? I said, man, I'm telling you, Marty, he done turned back to that bottle, man. See the spirits moving on the guy. Unclean spirits. And Marty said when he talked to the guy, man, he kind of regretted it. Because he just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And telling Marty's damn witchcraft stuff, just wait, in 15 minutes, something's going to come over you. Hey,
what?
That was witchcraft that this man was practicing on you, man. That was witchcraft. See, there's spirits in that bottle that Dave keeps putting to his mouth like a damn glass penis. It's putting unclean spirits in him, man. You know I'm not lying, Marty. You know it's true because of this. And you got to stop giving him a pass, man. The scriptures say, he that sin, shame before all. This is not no individual buddy thing. We got to put him on blast before all. So that other people won't do it. And it turn back to the bottom, man. Second Corinthians 5 and 21. Can you get that, Benaiah? 2 Corinthians 5 and 21.
Come on.
You gotta have a name like David, a king, a mighty king of Israel, a man that the Most High said was after his own heart. He desecrated that name. People saying, yeah, why don't you guys try and talk to David? So Marty said, Kahan, let's give him a call, man. I like the brother. Utter disappointment. Hey, you got that, Benaiah?
Come on. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 21. For he hath made him to be sin for us, whom knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of Yah in him.
So we're supposed to have the spirit of righteousness. And let's get 1 Timothy 5, verse 20. Let's see what we're supposed to do with David. We're supposed to go in the bat? No, this is not a brother committed a trespass against another brother. He trespassed against the Most High, man. People are hearing him on here giving testimony saying, oh, yeah, man, I'm never going to, you can't even chase me away. And your niece, a worldly woman, chased you away. A worldly woman. A worldly Negro. Get that, brother Benaiah. 1 Timothy 5, verse 20.
Come
on. More after that verse. Can you just give a brief synopsis of what happened last week when you called this brother? David. It's a damn shame, man. It's an embarrassment.
It's the book of 1 Timothy.
His light is going out.
Come on. This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 20. Them that sin, rebuke before all.
Did that say we should go in the closet? No, it says rebuke before all. Why? Read.
That others also may fear.
So that others would fear. If you do that, Tazadaq's going to embarrass you too. Marty Moore's going to call you out also. But now he's going to be reading precepts calling you out also. This is how you keep people right, man. You know, go and talk to him. Come on, brother. You shouldn't have done it. No, I'm going to put your ass on blast. It's not no brother against brother thing. He didn't sin against the Most High. And he desecrated the entire camp, man. So we rebuked him before everyone. Tell me he's in the room. He's like, was he clear-minded when you call him Marty?
La. I'm going to just say, the brother, you can be gifted this light and it can be taken away from you. And this brother was gifted a very great gift by way of the Kahan, all praises due to the Most High. And when you are gifted this gift, it's not just by chance that you stumble in here. This brother, he had changed totally. I'm talking about a lot of people have to struggle and pain to shake the demons of the bottle and some of the other things that are infringe upon our lives every day. This brother had actually been spared that from the kind of
he got the devil in him, man. He got the devil in him. I know he doesn't want to hear this, but he got the devil in him. More, you're blanking out. He got the devil in him, and I could prove it. And David, you need to listen, man. You was around some righteous, stand-up brothers, men, Akim.
Huh.
And you removed that to go back to the wicked world and that false philosophy that you was following. He couldn't handle the rebuke. Let's get the book of Hebrew, man, 10 and 5. He couldn't handle it.
This brother was babbling the talk of Esau by way of the spirits in that bottle, Kahan. Wasn't living right. He changed.
Well, what did he tell you, Marty, about something's going to happen to you in a few minutes? That was witchcraft, pure witchcraft, man.
Trying to impose upon me evil.
You told me he told you something about you don't know God or something. And I know I'm not supposed to call him God, but you don't know God, do you? Something's gonna happen to you. That's witchcraft, man. Within the next, he's trying to put fear in your heart.
Yeah, he's trying to put. He said,
"Wicked talk and bring upon thy brother evilness." And I saw that. I was embarrassed and ashamed for the brother, and I thought he was much too good of a man to try to impose evil spirits upon thy brother. 15 minutes and you're going to see. Say, whoa, hold up, my friend. What are you trying to do? Trying to...
yeah, see, it sounds like witchcraft. Like 15 minutes and you're going to see. That's what he's trying to put fear on you, man. And, that could have messed up your mind if you was weak.
I don't appreciate anybody calling forth evil, because see, people that do that and don't understand, you everything you do and say means something, and you'll mess around and hurt yourself with something like that. Trying to hurt me, and no, I'm protected by the Most High. Doing that kind of shit against that brother, you're gonna hurt yourself, and you need to leave that kind of stuff alone.
Kahan, thumbs up as you come in the room. Go ahead and give a thumbs up as you come in the room. Thumbs up. Yeah, that's pure witchcraft, man. Evil. So you're trying to put fear in your heart. If you had succumbed to it, he would have had you. Let's see what the scriptures say about that. Let's get Hebrews 10, verse 5.
Come. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 5. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offering thou wouldest not, but a body hast thou prepared me.
Yachanan 3, verse 7 and 8. First Yachanan 3, verse 7 and 8. David, you better listen, man. You made the greatest mistake of your life when you went back to the world. You turned your hand from the plow. You see him put in the room, Marty said, I'm here. He turned his hand from the plow. He's here. He's listening.
Yeah, I saw him in the chat.
First John 3, verse 7 and 8.
It's the book of First Yachanan, chapter 3, verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous.
See that? If a man is doing righteousness, it's because that man is righteous. The ruach is moving on him. Read on.
Even as he is righteous. Verse 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil.
He that committeth sin is of the devil. While you're sinning, that's because the spirit of high Shaitan has got on you, and now you're of the devil. And that's what David was doing every time he came on here drunk, trying to prophesy. He was prophesying from the spirit of high Shaitan. That spirit is of the devil, man. See, the devil yoke. It's a scheme causing many people to disobey the Torah, to disobey the Most High. Our armor of a light of the old past was the Torah. Let's get First Yachanan 5, verse 2 and 3. First Yachanan 5, verse 2 and 3. So, Marty, Mom, what did you say? You know, when you call, yeah, because I told you, I said, Marty, I think this guy's going to be lit when you call him. Was I wrong, Marty?
When I called him, you told me he was going to be lit. Usually, no, I'm going to say every time you're correct. I should have paid attention. He was upside down, man.
Yeah, you keep blanking out, Marty. We can't hear you.
He was upside down, Kahan. I gotta check.
Yeah, you told me he kept repeating the same thing over and over and over, like he wasn't making any sense.
Yeah, he had me shook up a little bit, Kahan. I had to hurry and get off the line with him.
Wow.
I never heard that brother spew that type of talk. It was nothing like it.
But that's what I'm telling you, you guys. The brother, he used to call me with that, man. Yeah, I don't want to put anything bad on the camp, the assembly. I'm going to dismiss myself. Drunk as a skunk. See, that was spirits. That was the other spirits talking to him.
That kind of talk, Kahan, people don't understand. You bring that type of talk on, and that shit'll linger around, and unchecked, it grows, man, and it ain't nothing good about it. Brother Raymond, he emphasized the spirits in that bottle, man, and there are spirits in that bottle, and people need to pay attention to that.
Come on.
Brother Raymond. That's what happens.
Raymond is here, but he's not saying anything.
Brother Raymond.
We're having some mic problems as usual.
Go ahead.
That's what happens. Raymond is here, but he's not saying anything.
Go ahead.
Brother Raymond. We're having some mic problems as usual. Raymond got his YouTube turned up.
Can you hear me?
That's what happens. Raymond is here, but he's not saying anything.
You're getting a lot of feedback. Brother Raymond.
YouTuber. Hey, let's get Jeremiah 6 and 16. Jeremiah 6 and 16.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths.
That's talking about what they refer to as the Old Testament. You know,
where is the good way,
the Torah.
And walk therein.
Is that what David doing by putting a bottle to his mouth, Marty? La'ah. La'ah. But he claimed to be. This man go on FB prophesying to the wind. He talking to them spirits. Because no one's listening.
And that's fake. That's motivation. And you can't be out here walking one way and living another way, man.
You're right. You got a wolf of noise in the background. Let me mute him. Go ahead, Marty, ma.
Walking, and you're a man of the Most High. You're not supposed to be digging in that bottle like that, man. You know, see, that right there is disrespectful, and all the people that's reaching out and trying to help you, and it's almost like you be trying to repeating yourself like that, unable to actually receive the words I'm saying. I mean, this brother was totally speaking a foreign language. I mean,
well, it's really not funny, man. He's probably lit right now. I bet he's lit right now. If we was allowed him to get on this court, he's probably lit.
It's a shame.
That's a sickness, man.
You said, I could tell.
I told you, Marty, if you call him, I bet this man's lit. I bet this man is high, man. He's going to be inebriated.
Like you wouldn't believe. Like you would not believe.
Okay, I think I got that audio straightened out.
It's in that bottle, Brother Raymond. Okay.
What was that again, Marty?
Spirits.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that
was
bottle.
something that, yeah,
Spirits
as I said, you know. Every time I start talking, he's talking. Right. Yeah, that was something that was revealed to me by the Spirit. You know, and I'm talking from experience too, because I was a drinker, you know, going back in the day. And you have to, and the only way that you're going to overcome that is by and through the Spirit of the Most High. You can't do it within your own might. You can't do it within your own power. You have to call on something that has the power to overcome that. And the only one that can do that, we can't do it within ourselves. He revealed to me of how it is that even back in the day when you go to the liquor store or whatever, you go back in the day, they had it on the sign saying spirits. And still even today, you can go some places and you will see that sign. says spirits. They're actually telling you what you are partaking of. So with regards to that now, you called him David, but that was not David. That wasn't the David that was recovering and coming forth, as Kahan was saying, in reference to what he was talking about King David and all. But that was not David. That was the manifestation of another spirit manifesting itself out of him. David was totally and utterly suppressed. So now you have, as you said, Marty, all kinds of things be taking place because there's many spirits that manifest itself out of that bottle. And you can see that, the personality change. I call it going into an altered state. You're in an altered state because you're no longer, as I said, David. You're a whole different and another personality that has manifested itself by way of partaking of the spirits in the bottle. So my thing with that is that, yes, he need to be delivered, but just as we pray for ourselves, we pray for each other, we still yet have to lift him up in prayer. We have to pray for him. Pray to Yahweh that he be delivered. But he is not going to be able to do it in and of his own self. It's just not going to happen. It does not work that way.
Nope. I don't know why he decided to take himself away from TDOC.
And that's it. He ran away from his strength and aligned himself with those that was not interested in his real best interest. They were people that was selfish. They wanted those spirits that was in the bottle to come back because they were getting what they wanted by way of those spirits. So they wanted those spirits to come back. And he found himself surrendering to that by listening to the other side. Yeah, I heard the comments concerning, what some of his family members had said, but it was all a ploy to tear him away from his strength, that he be weakened again and fall to the place that he's found himself.
But no, I get Ephesians, the 6th chapter, verse 11. See, he don't have, once he left from around the two disciples of Christ, he took off of that armor. He took off of that protection that the Most High had him under. You saw it, Marty. Towards the end of his mission here, he wasn't drinking anymore, man. The man, he was like a total different man. Wow. But he took off that whole armor. Went right back to the world. Now he got worse spirits on him.
Everything that you gave him by way of the Most High, he turned it back in, and that's what people don't understand. You can walk in this light, but you can turn away from it, and it can be gone and lost forever. You got to be consistent. And you said, Kahan, this, anything you quit, you quit. You don't go back to it.
Kahan. Let's get Ephesians 6, verse 11.
It's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yah,
That's what he got to do. He's trying to put some of it on. Some people just want to put on some of the armor and end up getting killed by the weapons of high Shaitan. You know?
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
See, he couldn't stand against it, Marty. It broke him down. One of the wiles of the devil was his weakness. High Shaitan comes against you with you like most, man. His is alcohol. We don't.
Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
See that? He wasn't wrestling against flesh. He wasn't wrestling against Esau. He was wrestling against unclean spirits in that battle. Read.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Come. He didn't have a strong enough yoke, man. See, in Satan's arsenal, in the arsenal of the devil, the spirits, they're referred to as Leviathan. Leviathan is one of the deadliest spirits out there. And one of the most confessing, destructive, and strongest spirits that the enemy has. Leviathan. And the word of the Most High warns us in many places in the scriptures. The first one is in Ephesians, man. Ephesians 5:18. It says, and be not drunk. It's talking about the spirit of alcohol, Marty. I'm going to show you it's in the Bible. See, Raymond said it, but I know where to go because I read this many times, man. I know where to go and show you that the Bible calls alcohol spirits. Book of Ephesians 5:18. And be not drunk, meaning out of control and being used with wine, wherein is access, but be filled by spirit. I want you to notice the content of the chapter. It is speaking about walking wisely and not as a fool and to make the best use of our time. See, after the Supreme Elohim goes on to say that we are to understand what the will of the Supreme Elohim is, now we're supposed to do that will. So obviously by studying the word of the Most High, that's what we're doing right now. Right now. For the Shabbat service, we're studying the word of the Most High. So before I go on, I must tell you, I have an extensive experience in dealing with Leviathan. Leviathan is that spirit that David has. Leviathan is a spirit that's found in alcohol. So I'm gonna hit you with something, man. I had a person very close to me that died from alcoholism, cirrhosis of the liver. And so I had to watch this process for 15 to 20 years. Now, some of you older gentlemen, you know who Alfred Hitchcock is, right? Marty and Raymond, you know who Alfred Hitchcock is, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the younger ones probably should know who Stephen King is. Now, if you think Alfred Hitchcock could write some horror movies or Stephen King, man, Alfred Hitchcock and Stephen King movies were like Disney's adventures compared to what alcohol is capable of doing. Now, stop me where I'm lying at. If you notice, once David cleaned himself of that alcohol, he became more agitated. He was angry a lot because that was the spirit trying to call him back to it, man. He was snapping. He started snapping, man. A couple times Israel said, yo, David can kind of sharpen the tongue. But I understood what was going on. It was that spirit, man. It was that spirit of Leviathan and that alcohol trying to call him back. That's what was going on, man. See, I've also had alcoholics living a few doors down from me. And I was the one that confronted a couple of these people about their problems. And then they appear to go into a damn rage. Just like the word of the Most High says in the book of Proverbs. They go into a rage, man. See, at a certain point, a person who drinks like Ricky Davis, I'm not going to call him David. He's not worthy of that name. See, at a certain point, a person who drinks alcohol in excess, they can and they will become possessed with the spirit of Leviathan. See, Marty, that's what you was talking to when you called me. That wasn't David. You wasn't talking to Ricky Davis. You was talking to the unclean spirit of Leviathan. And that's one of the trickiest, if not the trickiest spirit that High Shaitan has. Because the spirit of Leviathan actually imitates the love of Yahweh. See, if the alcohol does not want help, this alcoholic person, if they don't want help, there's actually no hope at all concerning the deliverance of this person. And this is what I was trying to get people to understand. I'm trying to tell Marty, man, we can't talk to him. The man doesn't want help. He walked away from this. That is why I exhort someone in this position to keep their distance. I'm trying to tell Marty to keep his distance. What happened? He trying to put demons on Marty. You just wait in 15 minutes, something's going to happen to you. They just keep repeating the same thing over and over, man. That's an unclean spirit, man.
Right, Kahan. That's just what you told me. And I found that very much intrusive because he kept trying to call it upon me. And that's exactly what, and he was talking in a demonic type of form, repeating itself over and over again, like a cantation, trying to call upon something unnatural,
Let me hit you with something, though, Marty. An unclean spirit like Leviathan that was on David, that spirit can twist the mind and thoughts of a normal person to the point of insanity. This is why you said you had to get off the phone with it. See, only someone very strong in the scriptures can deal with an alcoholic, man. Many patients in state hospitals for the mentally ill have at least one family member who is an alcoholic because an alcoholic drove them insane. I used to work for a major hospital in New York City, man. So I speak from experience. I worked there too. Both of them had mental patients, and so I'm speaking from experience here. Now let's turn to the Bible and study the words of the Supreme Elohim. And let's see what it says about drinking in excess. And we pray. We don't hope, we pray that David is listening behind that spirit, because we know the spirit's trying to block this. This is what was going on, Marty, when he said, oh yeah, I want to come. Then he said, nah, I better not. See, David wanted to come, but the spirit overcame him and told him no. Let's get the book of Proverbs 20, verse 1. Malachi, book of Proverbs, Salakia, Benaiah. I'll get it right. Proverbs 20, verse 1.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 1. Wine is a mocker.
Wine is a mocker. Read on.
Strong drink is raging.
Strong drink is raging. Read on.
And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise.
Yeah, if you drink, you partaking in stuff like this, you're not wise. They claim to know the Bible, right, Marty? Why in the hell is he partaking in stuff like this? He's deceived. See, the Most High, the Supreme Elohim, tells us that the person who drink is deceived. That's what that means. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived. Deceived by what? By wine and strong drink. Wine and liquor. And beer. He's telling us the person who drinks is deceived. See, the adversary starts off people very slowly regarding their addictions. See, no one in their heart wants to become an addict. David's not going to admit that he's an addict. No one in their heart wants to become an addict of any type. Satan deceives and lures a person into his trap. Drinking in excess and gluttony, for all of you that overeat, don't think you get out of it. If you're fat and you're not trying to do something about it, that's gluttony. It can lead to poverty. According to the Bible, Proverbs 23:21. The drunkard and the gluttonous person is in the same category.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 21. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty.
See that? You're gonna be broke. You're gonna come to poverty. You know why? Well, what does that mean? And that's clear. You got to be a witness. No, what's the punk do that get alcohol? That's an addict. They spend all that money on alcohol. They go broke. Tell me where I'm lying at. Just like the gluttonous person, they spend all their money on food, man. Just want to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, man. And they get mad when you call them a hog. What you get mad for, Piggly Wiggly? You eating like a damn hog. It confuses the mind and clouds the person's judgment. From there, Yeshaya 28, verse 7. Malachi, I see you was trying to get in, man, but you never quite made it. I'm going to post the link one more time.
Book of Yeshaya, chapter 28 and verse 7. But they also have erred through wine.
See that? Then that's what David's doing. I don't know what he drinks. I can't tell you. But how you out here? I mean, people knew that the brother was coming on the call drunk, and he's trying to recite the scriptures. And he wasn't making sense then. I can only imagine how it was with Marty Mom, man.
He was drinking jet fuel, Kahan.
Damn. No, ever so clear. Ever clear. That's 200 proof. 100% alcohol. That'll drive you damn mad. That's what made Bushwick Bill shoot himself in the eye, man. Damn.
And through strong drink are out of the way.
See that?
They're
out of the way. Read on.
The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink.
It causes the priests and the prophets to go off. That's why the Most High tell you not to touch that stuff, man, if you prophesying. Read on.
They are swallowed up of wine.
See that? And that's what David, he's John here, jump, not making sense. Yeah, I could give you money. Get your drunken ass out of here, man, before I hit you with my apocrypha and curse you. You'll be walking around, you know what I mean, like one of Jerry's kids. Hey, Marty, you remember Jerry Lewis Labor Day Telethon?
Yeah, Kahan.
striking within a pocket, man. He'll be walking around here limp-legged or something like that, man. For the Most High cursing him for desecrating his boat. Why? He's filled with them spirits.
That's real talk, though. Seriously.
Go ahead, read, King.
They are out of the way through strong drink.
Mm-hmm.
They err in vision. They stumble in judgment.
So he started to stumble in his judgment. Nah, I'm not going to come. I'm just concerned about COVID. You're a damn lie. You wanted to stay and get drunk. Celebrate your brother coming out of the joint. Now, I want you to take notice to what General Yashabim just read, how specific the Supreme Elohim is in this great scripture, showing the results of strong drink. Errors, they're consumed mentally, they have impaired visions, poor judgment. But what? An alcoholic will act as if he or she is perfectly in line. That's what David be doing. They act like they're perfectly fine. You see an alcoholic, they would do practically anything to continue drinking. And they prefer to do it as if it's perfectly okay. Like nothing at all is wrong. I watched an alcoholic sell everything that they could get their hands on to buy alcohol. I seen it. I watch it. Don't you know that alcohol addiction is stronger than heroin in the brain? They hated to be confronted about their problem. Just like David, when we brought it up, he was getting bitter with me. And I've done it. And the spirit goes insane. See, the person could go into a rage. He drinks a lot. This is why I'm telling you, man, you know a person like this, man, you better keep away from him, man, unless your spirit is very strong. Marty done the right thing getting off of the phone with him, man. You could go into a rage. You never know what they're going to do.
And then he started laughing uncontrollably.
Wow.
You know, like a possessed in it, just laughing. What the hell are you laughing about? Shit.
Yeah, that was the spirit, man. Wow. Wow. Sound like a crazy man.
Yeah, I've seen that happen as well. That is another spirit. That spirit of laughter. And some preachers actually on the internet, they use that spirit to overcome their congregation. They use that demonic spirit of laughter. I think Kenneth Copeland, I shouldn't mention names, but he's one of them.
Yeah, I mean, years ago, when people were alcoholics, they would literally admit them to state hospitals and make them go dry, cold turkey. They would admit them to the hospital and make them go dry, cold turkey.
I'm kidding. Wow.
And they didn't want that, man. They never wanted to return. But today it's tolerated. And there's a lot of people, you got these alcoholic people in your life, and you're subjected to their negative abuse. And there's been more than 10 times, man, that I've seen the only feasible solution to dealing with some alcoholics, unless you're extremely, extremely, extremely strong in the scriptures, is to avoid them. Because that spirit that's on them. But the Most High tells you that. Most High tells you that in the scriptures, but much more eloquently than I just put it. 1 Corinthians 5:11. He tells us right there how to deal with alcoholics. You don't keep company with drunkards, man. 1 Corinthians 5:11.
Book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard.
See that? Or a drunkard. Or a drunkard. Go ahead, finish that out.
Or an extortioner, with such a one know not to eat.
Kahan. So the Most High is telling us don't have any fellowship with a drunkard or other sinners. Because having a fellowship with a drunkard is having fellowship with darkness. This is strictly forbidden in the word of the Most High. 2 Corinthians 6 and 14. Why is this about people that's drunk? We're not to be befriending them, Marty. It's right here in the scriptures. Supposed to reprove them, man, not befriend them. He getting drunk, he coming on, and he trying to prophesy to them about the Holy Bible, and saw nothing wrong with it. I mean, you saw how stupid he looked, man. People, he was so damn drunk and out of his mind, bugged out of his mind. He didn't realize that the entire audience was making fun of him. He come on, here's what to do. All damn off topic, not making any sense. Calm down. I see. First time he done that, I said, what the hell? Is this damn man insane? I mean, think about it, Mike. Think about it. He come on here. Calm down. Everybody's quiet. Yeah, he telling people to calm down. What the hell is wrong with this guy, man? What kind of jackass is this? Then I listened to him. I said, oh, this brother needs help, man. I said, yeah, this brother needs help. I'm gonna continue to let him come around. Because hey, calm down. You know what I mean? He's talking, and then in the middle of a set, calm down. What the hell? The hell wrong with this guy? Then after listening to him for a couple of times, I said, oh yeah, he needs help, man. He has a problem.
Good job. Good job.
Here's what you do. Just repeat. And he never told you what to do. Here's what you do. Never tell nobody what to do. Hey, Marty, you know I'm not lying, man. You know I'm not lying, Marty, because as soon as you come on, you didn't say it, but I can sense it in your voice. You said, oh, man, damn, here we go again. Because you would say, okay, David, tell us what to do. You know I'm not lying, man. Everyone already knew what to expect. And to the point, said, Tazadaq, well, you let this guy come on your show, man. Because I was trying to save his soul, man, through the spirit of the Most High in Christ.
All joking aside, man, you made a difference in his life. You changed. You did change. Big time. I don't know why he would want to go back to that. That's it.
Ephesians 5 and 11, man, says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful workings of darkness, but rather reprove them. See, one of the characteristics of an alcoholic, which is very prominent, is that they would try to degrade others. See, this is an attempt to assume control over all situations if possible. And they would turn to whatever means they need to do so, especially lying. All alcoholics, man, are liars. Now, I need you to remember that we're to love the person if they want help. Don't forget. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying. You got to be very careful. Because an alcoholic might say he or she needs your help. But they're lying. They just want to drink. Or they might be lying just to get you to stop bothering them. so they can continue drinking. This is why this man wanted to break away. It's not that he didn't want to travel Yashabim. It wasn't because of COVID. The man wanted to continue drinking.
And you called it from the beginning.
It's a damn shame, man. That conversation, Marty, I wish you had recorded it, man.
I'm glad I didn't, Kahan. It was frightening almost. Shit, that guy was totally man out of his. He was out of himself. He was someone else.
Yeah, excessive drinking literally causes the person to be insistious. Let's get Romans 13 and 13. You can't be walking in drunkenness, man.
Book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 13. Let us walk honestly as in the day,
Come on.
not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying.
Come on. Yeah, man. David, we know you're still on there, man. You need to hear this message, man. You need to hear this message, David. This is not a joke. You're talking about your salvation. And you listen to your niece? Give me a break, man. Someone got in his ear, man. Put a spirit on it.
Kahan.
Would have been that bottle. How you gonna show up for 2 meetings and all of a sudden, I might get COVID-19? You couldn't even begin to explain that one. Because he was Johnny on the spot, always wanted to be at the meetings. Oh, when it's the next gathering, I'll be there. Till that alcohol started calling again, man. I'm blaming on the alcohol.
Yeah, he just he disappeared on us, and no logical reason behind that. It was all a lie. I was a witness to that. That it didn't make any sense at all. He wanted to be at the meeting so bad. He showed up to one meeting in North Carolina a day late when everything was over.
And just chilled in this hotel room.
Yeah.
The next day. And you know what he told me, Yashabim, when I called him? I'm going to go downstairs and have some drinks. That's my word to the Most High.
Did not know that.
He said I'm going to go downstairs and have some drinks. Don't worry about it.
Wow.
I'm just going to have some drinks. I said, damn. And when I called him, he was already lit. Because he's totally different. His personality is totally different once he get lit.
God.
I did not know that about. I didn't know that about that brother, man. I didn't know he was really, really that far out there.
Yeah, man. He's trying to help the brother out, man. And he took it, very offensively. And that's the typical thing. That's one of the signs of an alcoholic, man. They don't want your help. They want that bottle. You hear how a little son in the other room screaming for the bottle? An alcoholic scream for the alcoholic bottle like that, but just worse. Yeah, see some little baby, they see a bottle and they start crying because they know they're supposed to, nurse on that bottle. That's what an alcoholic does, man. Only he'll kill you for it, man. You get in the way. You get in the way of him and that alcohol, that damn alcoholic would take you out, man. I'm telling you, man, if you do some research on alcohol, it has a worse addiction, a withdrawal than heroin does. How you gonna deal with someone like that, man? What you gonna do with that? How you gonna deal with that? You know anyone like that, Malachi? Malachi, you wasn't around when he was around. Nah, Malachi wasn't around then. The Malachi, he actually never went to none of those trainings with us.
No, not in Boston and in North Carolina.
But I haven't been to a training yet. I'm actually waiting, but I've been around a lot of people who were like alcoholics and stuff like that. Like that was literally all they would do. At one point I didn't really drink all that much. I wasn't really a drinker, but when I came more into the truth and I was drinking, I started noticing like that I just would be acting. Like, I feel like the alcohol would affect me way more ever since when I would start reading the scriptures and stuff. So I don't know how anybody could pick that up and just constantly do it.
Yeah, he picked the Bible. I mean, he would try and talk the Bible when he's drunk, man. How you on here drunk, desecrating the words of the Most High? And people were saying he's drunk. And you know what's bad, Malachi? Is this guy, once he sobered up, he admitted, hearing me say in the background that this guy is drunk. He admitted to me, yeah, I heard you calling me drunk a few times.
Would he actually like feel remorseful, or would he just like laugh or something?
I don't think he felt anything, man. Honestly, I don't think he felt anything. He just acknowledged that he heard it. So yeah, I heard you saying I was drunk. I mean, you could tell his words was all sluggish. Like, I mean, it didn't even the sentence was not contextual. And they were saying, Tazadaq, will you let him come on here? Because I thought, I saw like the spirit could take control of this guy, man. And it did for a while. Until he put that bottle back up. Then, he's saying his niece and all that. Yeah, okay, all of that's all good. People could say what they want to say, man, but ultimately, the decision comes down to you in the end. Malachi could tell me to do something, but at the end of the day, unless Malachi had a gun to my head, I'm responsible for it.
I had one friend. This dude, he used to have like a serious problem. Like I'm not sure if he still got it because honestly, I cut him off. But he had like a serious problem to where like he was getting food stamps. He was even trading food stamps with his own mother. Like he was giving her like $80 in food stamps for like $10 just to go to the packy and buy him like two 211 like still reserves. And then he'll feel all set. He'll feel all set for the rest of the day. He used to literally sit there and beg me for like $5. Like he would, like if I told him no, he would just keep on asking over and over again. Like, and it was just ridiculous. Just so he could go get him a still. If he didn't even drink one still in the day, he literally felt unsettled.
Damn shame, man. Yeah, but I know about that life, man. I seen someone drink themselves to death, literally, man, around me. Died of cirrhosis of the liver. I wasn't surprised when they called me and say, yo, so-and-so is dead.
And I gotta give all praise to the Most High for real, because even he helped like like basically he saved my younger brother. Like my brother was over here battling with that demon a lot, and it actually got to the point where he literally had got so intoxicated that part of his house like had set on fire. Like it basically had set on fire, but he all praises he survived. But then after that, he just enrolled himself in a rehab. He's been sober now for a while, but he was literally about to lose his life. Like he was literally getting drunk almost every single day, like just getting like and it wasn't even like regular like intoxication. Like I lived with him one time, and he literally had like a whole pint of Henny, and then he had like a whole nother like pint of E&J inside of the fridge. He had strawberries in his room, like empty cans. You know, he had all of this stuff, you know, and he was just like, you know, mixing. He was doing all of this, like trying to out drink other people, just drinking with his boys and everything. And he was really on the verge of killing himself. But you know, like he know about like the truth and everything, and he really enrolled himself into rehab after he you know, he almost started that house fire and everything.
Damn. What's weird, Malachi, is he said it was on the core, man, when I first started. He said, I'm here. David, you still here? It's because his spirit's so bad, he might have left now. Or his niece wanted to say, why are you still listening to that? I mean, he would come back and tell me that's what she was saying. Why didn't you let him talk to you like that? He needed someone to care about him. They didn't. All they wanted was his spirit.
See, when you have somebody in a state like that, and when you making these changes, because we still make changes, and they encouraged him to go back to the other way by way of separating him from the brotherhood. Hey, why you let Tazadaq talk to you like that? And all he did was get a little bit of correction. That's it. It wasn't nothing serious. I mean, it had nothing to do with you know, like, it didn't have anything to do with the Bible. It was just a conversation, just in conversation, you know, at a meeting. And for folks who encourage you to go back to your old ways when they see you getting better, that's some hate for you. And you're also easily manipulated in that state. Drugs give away just about anything. I got a family member that's like that. Back in the day when I was younger, every family gathering, he would always get in an argument or in a fight with someone or somebody. And for him, alcohol was similar to what Malachi was explaining about, you know, his family member. That's his whole diet plan, down to the skin and bones. And you don't care nothing about having any kind of substance, just as long as, you know, they get those spirits in them.
Yeah, when I was talking about, man, before he died of the cirrhosis of the liver, man, he literally dropped a cigarette before, and he cools things that catch on fire. He burned his arm once. So, I mean, he's done some pretty bad things, man. He permanently lost his driver's license behind, but he's still here. He said, I'm here, man. He's still here. He's standing fast. He literally lost his driver's license. He had to always get someone to drive him from Long Island to you know, Roosevelt Raceway down to the Meadowlands to Westbury, because he still work with the racehorses, man. Because he permanently lost his license for drinking. And whenever he was sober, man, he was a different guy, like really quiet, wouldn't say anything. When he drink, just talk about sports and, you know what I mean? But he wouldn't use no chaser, nothing. He would take an entire gallon of liquor, man, and drink that in 2 days over the weekend. 2 days. You hear me, Marty? From Friday night until Sunday, he would drink that whole gallon of liquor. Straight. Just sit there one Sunday and just watch TV. He eventually died because of it, man. I was in the military when he died, man, when they called me. Wow.
I remember 2 times I was in the military. One time there was I had like some of my friends over my house, and I actually ended up going to sleep because I had like a 4 o'clock. I had a 4 a.m. formation, so I went to sleep. And my friends are all over here drinking downstairs, like in my house, and they're getting like just wasted drunk. And this one girl, she literally threw up like at my house, like in a puddle of her throw up. And one of my friends had to come upstairs. They was banging on my door. They woke me up, and I seen her. All of the guys were so drunk around her that nobody could even pick her up. I had to literally pick this girl up. I had to pick her up out of her own puddle of throw up. I had throw up all over my clothes, and then I had to like help clean her up and everything. It was so disgusting.
When you're done. Yeah, man, David, what you got to say for yourself? Listen to your niece, huh? Someone that's younger than you and green as hell. I mean, they probably saw growth in him because they couldn't manipulate him anymore. They used to manipulate him. They used to make him pay for everything, pay for the funerals and all of that. And I told him, man, and I don't care if they're his. So, man, don't be letting your family take advantage of you like that. They're taking advantage of you. Get someone else to pay. And they always get fiat and everything from them, man. Don't let your family treat you like that. That's not real love right there. You ever give to you, no. It's not the spirit of the Most High, man. How your children coming to you, man? They're adults. You're supposed to be making sure your father's all right. Well, if that's hate, then I'm gonna keep on giving hate. Let his niece eat that. The question should have been, why are you guys trying to manipulate the brother? Why don't you really try to sincerely help him? Why you let him talk to you like that? What? Giving him love? Rebuke is love. Especially when it's coming from the right place.
Hebrews chapter 12. It's all in that. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly what it is. When folks get that bottle, I mean, they wake up in the middle of the night. I've witnessed someone wake up in the middle of the night, heavily intoxicated, and thought the air conditioned window AC unit was a urinal. Yeah, it was terrible. Like you're not who you are at all. I think that's why they call it liquid courage, because you would do things that you normally would not do or act out if you're in your supposedly your right mind. You know, I've had experience with that on 2 occasions and did not like it. You know, I thought I called myself being polite because folks wanted to buy you something, and those 2 instances was just the worst experiences of my life. And I was like, yep, never again. So it's been well over probably about 16 years now, because once you see how it affects people around you, I mean, it's not even worth doing it once to me, because bad things happen. There are things you can't even come back from. You got people that do that, get in a car and jack up their life and everyone else's. But we just read, in the Bible, we're not supposed to keep company with them. They cause the priests and the prophets to stray away. And these are ones back in those days, they used to memorize the scriptures, know it like the back of their hand, so it's in them. And alcohol was still causing them to sin and to stray off the way. So what chance does a regular, so to speak, man who doesn't have the raw and doesn't have the word written in him, you ain't going to be any better. You're going to be much worse. Were you going to say something, Elder Morty?
Wow.
Okay.
but what was brought out earlier about like like the spirits being on that drink, that stuff is real. Like even one time, like like when I was in the world, there's a situation with this one female. I was over here running game on her and stuff, and it was like me, and then like other people was trying to get at her too. She was a cute girl and everything, but when I started seeing her drink, she was drinking herself under the table. Like she was drinking way more than me, and I'm over here. I'm just thinking myself. I'm like, nah, I'm straight. Like I'm not even about to fall for this. I ain't about to play into this no more. And then she ended up like I guess like them demons on her kept on like basically she kept on like telling me like, oh, like I'm trying to go home with you, blah 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 and everything. And like I seen the other guy trying to like take her home and all of that. And I was like, I was more sober, so I was like, nah, like like I really felt like she was gonna get raped or something, because that guy was like really like he was trying hard too, like while she was drunk out of her mind. So I brought her back home, and then like as I got into like my house and stuff, I just told her I was like, yo, like like just go lay down, relax and all that everything. And then she was trying to make moves. She was really trying to make moves. And I was over here. I'm like nah, like I'm like no, like the only thing that could go through my mind was like if you really feel like this, tell me this when you sober, like you're fully sober, like because she was out of her mind that night, like, and I'm over here like nah, like you know how the demons are, like they'll put a spirit on like a lust spirit on the woman, and then the next day like she try and play that confusion card, and all of the he raped me, so on and so forth, come up like I literally just had her like just go to sleep. And I just kept on giving her like cups of water. And I was like, yo, you just need to relax. But I really feel like, I saved her from getting raped that night, because all of these other guys were really just trying to force it. Like they were trying to force it with her. She was drunk out of her mind, like couldn't even function.
It's a good move you did though, because you could have got the Uno reverse card that night. Could have been a real bad situation.
Kind of for real, like I was just thinking about trying to get her up out of there, because like she was just going crazy, and like she was like like one of them light skinned girls, thick and everything, and all of the dudes in the club they was going wild. Like I started seeing like it looked like like sharks, like it looked like sharks. You feel me? Like just swarming in on her and everything, and she was giving me play and everything, and I was like, you know what? I might as well, just like pretend, I'm just gonna get her to come over and everything, just have her relax. Cause them other dudes, like the more wicked dudes, they ain't care. Like it's like they smell blood in the water. They was about to just take it. I was like, nah.
Yeah. They might have spiked the drink or something, man. Who knows?
It's true.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That does happen. And that's another thing. When you are drinking too much, you don't know what anybody is doing to you or around you, because you're not looking at things the same. So again, it's real easy for one to be manipulated when you're not sober minded. You're not vigilant, and that's exactly what happened with David. And it does kind of, like it did anger me, because I mean, I was upset. I mean, we done shared some space together, and, trying to help the brother out to be able to wean himself, away from his, his habits. I would check up on him, and it was like none of that ever took place. It was like none of it. I mean, so like what Tazadaq was saying, they'll just tell you what they think you want to hear, just so you leave them alone. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened.
If you notice, man, he started getting angry from little things, man. A couple times he was snappy, man. And that's a symptom of the typical alcoholic, man. They just get angry, man, because they can't get that drink. they get angry and take it out around the people in their surroundings.
Yeah, that's exactly what was taking place. Yeah, we all witnessed it. And like you said, Israel did bring it out, and it was like, you're right. Yeah, I think I said something to the effect that he is acting real big, and I just I didn't even look at it that way. I just counted it as him coming into who he's supposed to be, inside the pecking order, But nah, he was definitely something else. Definitely something else.
Yeah, man, when you trying to get him to come to that, last meeting, man, and he said, he finally came out and said, "I'm not coming." For say, I'll give money to someone that needs me. We don't want your money, man.
No,
We're trying to get you to come here, man, and save your soul.
exactly.
All of a sudden, you done switched up.
Yeah, from Boston to dang on North Carolina, and just all of a sudden nothing.
Right, you coming all the way to Boston, and it was pretty cold out there that night, man. I mean, you come all the way out there, man, sleep in a tent outside, but you can't go. Come on, man.
He missed the whole day. He missed by a day. That drink can set you off, man. Set your schedule off and your mindset, and it'll pull you out of the truth too.
They started getting angry with me, man, because I was trying to monitor him, make sure he don't go back, and they hate that kind of person to try and keep him away from that substance, man.
You're right too, and I didn't know that because he wanted to be over here because it made him feel great. He was doing good. He was doing better every time. Every time he became a different man. He was more solid in his thinking. The smoke had cleared in his head, and he began moving as a part of the contributing body, and he felt good about it because he did. But that which is always hunting you, is always pursuing you, he fell prey to it because he did do it. He fell right back in, and he turned from right side up, upside down again. He did it. Everybody seen him do it, and he wasn't happy about it. Kahan, you were right. He was angry at you because he really wanted to be the man that Most High brought him to be by way of you, because he wanted that. But this truth is not guaranteed to anyone. If you are weak and you fall prey to the things that hunt you, and I insist they never stop hunting that soul. And if you're stupid enough to fall prey to it and let something pull you out of this truth, and I told you, I'm old. This truth was lost to me for a long time, and it can be lost, and sometimes it will never come back, depending on who you are as an individual. Understand that. The Kahan, he was angry. Really, he was angry at the Most High. David was really angry at the Most High, but he was showing his anger toward the person that had vindicated him, and he's drifting again. He's lost to this word. Some people think that the Most High is still with them, but the Most High is never with you when you're not doing thus saith the Lord. Believe that.
Yeah, Jacob, wake up. You can say that, and you probably coming from a decent place in your intentions on how you want David to come back, but he has to really he has to want it. you know, and it is definitely within his power. But when that bottle was speaking to him, he didn't let the perfect work and the patience, you know, work in him to be able to come out from underneath that. He didn't endure it. That reason, Hebrews chapter 12 kind of brought up a little bit earlier. It reads, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses," as in this, you know, brotherhood, and as you guys see out there, "let us lay aside every weight." He laid aside his weight only for a little while, "and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience onto the race that is set before us." You know, and as the priest, Kahan was just he was playing his role. Everyone has a position. He was playing his role. We keep us in line, you know, put that word out there and looking after the state of our spirit, how we act, what we're saying. And this is what our part is in that. You know, before, you know, multitude of witnesses, you know, we commit, you know, oh, we can't, you know, like you said, oh, you can't chase me away. And ain't no one even have to give chase. Ain't no one have to give chase. Ain't nobody kick him out. He willingly, in preparation to sin again, if he wasn't already, remove himself from a conversation. It didn't make any sense at all. Yeah, I hear you, David. And it's easy to be with people who aren't correcting you. But Jacob, wake up. You will find out if you guys do make contact on who this guy really is and who's really controlling him. So I don't know what you're waiting for, David. But you better make a real quality decision and grab hold before you know, that thing ends up putting you in the ground. You know, most I forbid.
Khan, you know, David, man, I do hope, like, you know, you turn away from it and everything. Like, even though I'm young, I personally do have like a personal testimony, like with alcohol and you know, other substances. Like when I was going to Job Corps, you know, like I was over here drinking, like, you know, I'll be sneaking off the premises with some of my friends, and we'll drink like gallons of liquor, like almost like all of the time, like almost every day we set it up, go buy like a gallon of some E&J. We call it Evil Jesus. We kept on drinking, and I remember one time I went home, like that spirit of Hashatan literally jumped on me. This was before I even started reading the Bible, really. Like the spirit of Hashatan really like jumped on me, and I started going crazy. I had like self-committed myself to it's called the IOL, and that's it's like an asylum. And when I was waiting to get transferred in there, that's when like all of this crazy stuff started happening, you know, like, and it was from them spirits, like, you know, attacking me and stuff. Like I even like I went from, you know, like choking my friend. I went from, you know, actually trying to choke the nurses and stuff in there, like that were trying to, like, you know, help me. And then they even had to strap me up to a chair, and they literally had to like put me inside of like, it was like this hard chair that was not comfortable at all. Strap my feet, strap my hands, you know, and I had to sit there and watch like Adult Swim literally for like 2 hours straight. I couldn't move. Like they put me into a soundproof room. I was in there going crazy, like because of all of them spirits that were just like, you know, moving. I had to do so much fasting, so much praying, so much staying in the word to like really get myself to, like, you know, another state of mind, because them spirits, like that stuff is nothing to play with. And that's all I was doing. I was over here, you know, smoking cigarettes, drinking, smoking a little bit of, you know, marijuana here and there, and that stuff had did that to my mind, like, and I was really going crazy. So that stuff is nothing to play with.
Yeah, and then on desecrating, you know, the Most High's word and being drunk, you know, knowing what Yahweh Shah did and what he endured and went through, I mean, we can do the same exact thing. We're supposed to do the works like we can, and we've been equipped to do works like he did and even greater. So him, it just doesn't make any sense. Something else is in him. Tazadaq already done brought it out. And it is serious. And for David, for you to be happy-go-lucky, so to speak, and try to place some curses on Elder Marty there, trying to invoke fear and witchcraft. You already know you lost. You are not fighting a good fight. That is a losing battle. That is a losing battle, Hawk. Jacob, make him wake up. Because he ain't getting it from over here. We're not going to feed into that.
Why would he listen to someone that's worldly though, man? Like his niece.
That's the stupid thing. And I said it, stupid. Like, that's not even a real trick. It's like he was waiting for any reason is what it would seem like. It didn't even have to be from someone who he considered to be wise or profound or anything. Oh, that's my ticket out. I'm gonna stand on that. Use that as my reason. And it just goes from there.
I still have a lot of love for the brother, Ricky Davis, but not that entity that's controlling him. Something else is controlling him right now. And it's the spirit of Leviathan. Have you ever watched that movie, The Exorcist? That spirit took over that girl. The spirit started talking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Lure you in, say exactly what you think you want to hear. They know anything about you, use your deepest or your darkest secrets against you to manipulate you as well. And that's really what's going on, man. He probably never had nobody in his life to love him like we did. And the folks in his background, his blood relatives, were probably getting jealous of that, seeing him making changes and doing better and being jealous.
He may not have that much time left, man. To straighten up.
Well, that's the scary part, because you never know. See, the Most High has had a hedge of protection around us over here in TDOC, all those out there in the audience. Folks are dropping around us, but we that are in it, we seem to still be here. So something's working. And David, you walking on the tightrope. So David, Ricky Davis, if you really out there, if you really sincere, you need to endure the pain, pick up your stake, as did Yahweh Shah, and endure the pain of becoming inebriated. And on the other side, there is life everlasting. We all have one. That's yours. Oh.
Well, David, the choice is yours, man. You're gonna have to draw a sign on a land in the sign. You're gonna be on the side of the Most High in Christ or the devil. But you're gonna be forced to choose.
You're going to make that choice on the top, or you're going to make it on the bottom. You can be up here with us, or you'll be down there. But you don't have a choice. You're going to be forced into one. And it's not going to be one that you want. Hey Raymond, is your mic settled? You were getting a lot of feedback earlier.
Who's that just popped up? Hey. Go ahead, Ed.
Oh, yo. Yeah, I have a quick question. James, its title was Armor of Light. Shalom, everybody. It's great to be here. Wow. I'm kind of like a proselyte. I was wondering what the spirit of the sword is, like the armor of God. What is it? What is like the sword? Because I know it's the belt, the breastplate, footwear, the shield, the helmet, and the sword.
Yeah, it's speaking essentially of symbolic armor, though. It's talking about putting on a particular mind state and keeping the laws to protect you, because it tells us that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but you know it's more powerful forces in darkness that may be ruling through human people, but it's really unclean spirits.
God, yeah.
That's what we was reading earlier, that Ephesians.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I was following along with that. Okay, well, I literally thought this was mostly literal, like most things in the Bible, like to put on the breastplate with 12 different gems on it, but that was just talking about symbolically the tribes of Israel then, and not actual gemstones, right?
Right. The breastplate, only the high priest wore that. Like the only Israelite that really wore any kind of crystals, those crystals was actually on the high priest breastplate, which represented each one of the tribes of Israel. Aaron typically wore that.
Yeah. Aaron was one of Moses.
And it had 12 stones on it that represented the 12 tribes of Israel.
Okay, and then so like the symbolic meaning of the sword would be to have the one moment, like to have the mouth that shall not be able, others shall not be able to have gainsay nor resist.
Oh yeah. That's in Luke. Actually, it's in all of the Gospels. That means there's going to be people that try to come around and kind of like pull the wool over your eyes. But he said, I'm going to give you a mouth that none of your adversaries will be able to rebuke or gainsay. That means to be able to persuade you or actually put some foolishness to you.
So is that what like the armor of light is those kind of items that I said, or does it
Yeah,
go a lot
yeah,
deeper?
that could actually mean that. Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. I missed the script.
A person that gamesay would be typically like a typical preacher. They're saying one thing, but they're not really living it, and they don't really mean it.
Yep, that's abundant in this world and it's pretty wickedly. Yeah. Sure, we've all seen those.
Are you with 13 Love? What they call?
13.
No, because I see
That's like Jacob before he became Israel. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, no, I thought because they wear, you see how you have the Dimitri on.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Well, when I heard geez, my camera just won't line up. When I heard the put on the whole armor of God, the whole armor of the Most High, I thought, man, I got to get the armor of God, and so to wear like a headwear, the helmet, the crown, the shield, the footwear. It's pretty much like saying clothe yourself and be civilized, right? So I mean, I like to wear headwear everywhere. It's usually like a brim hat or something like this or a beanie.
yeah, typically only the priest wore that, like the headwear. A lot of people when they read the book of and Paul, when he said, does not nature tells you that it is a shame for a man to prophesy with his head covered? They misconstrue that scripture, and then I take them back into the Torah. Well, when the priest would enter the sanctuary, his head would actually have to be covered. So, I saw that Mitri that you have on, and the crescent on the end of it.
Okay. What about deacons? Are they priests?
Well, he works under the leader, the highest leader, but he's still a leader. He's still a leader of the people.
Yeah, definitely was. Well, a lot of the stuff he said was obviously misconstrued. The deacons created these churches and everybody just acted like they were following it, but they still lived pretty worldly and wickedly, and then they would just manipulate what he was actually saying into something that is clearly not what the Most High Yahweh was saying.
Yeah.
So the deacons are not the high priest, but the high priest is the one who wears the headgear.
Right. Yeah. Typically, there was only one high priest over Israel. The other ones would actually fall under him. You did have other priests, like, for instance, when Hamashiach, before they crucified him, Caiaphas was the high priest. So, part of that Sanhedrin, they will all go to him and trying to make a decision whether or not to put Christ to death. And then since they was actually under the Greco-Roman rule at that time, then the priesthood went to them and said, hey, this man is blasphemous. We need him put to death under our laws.
Okay, well, I guess.
But you had the other priests, like Nicodemus and those people, but they were still under the high priest.
Yeah, so I guess that's why when you say like the spirit cuts them, that's the sword of the spirit, and then
right.
The helmet of salvation would maybe not necessarily wear something that I got on my head, but the helmet of salvation would be to have your head on your shoulders or to have Christ up here.
Huh.
And
right.
Was the shield of faith, which faith is obviously something I'm not 100% clear on, but it's something that I try to strengthen and make it bigger than just the size of a mustard seed. And then there's the shoes of gospel of peace, the breastplate of righteousness, and the belt of truth. So I understand that that's now metaphorical, but I guess I have one more other question. Would be, is a lot of this stuff in the Bible? I know that it's
No, but some, I mean, in
literally
that
happened.
particular, if we read on, it will see that, I mean, we will see that it's saying that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, meaning
Yeah.
not against the actual people, but these people have spirits in them that's causing them to behave a certain way.
Yeah, and I want to know how to put on the whole armor of God so I can, stand against the wiles of the devil, because sometimes the devil.
Yeah, I mean, that means simply keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, and doing what the scriptures say. That's going to protect your spirit. That's the armor. Now, just as a soldier, like if you read throughout the scriptures, like hey, but now you get Job 38 verse 3 real quick. Because they did wear armor. But what he's talking about in that particular precept is more spiritual armor.
Book of Job, chapter 38, verse 3. Gird up now thy loins like a man.
So before the Israelites would go out to battle, they would do something called girding up their loins like a man. So that means you would actually tuck your garment inside of your girder, your guard, and get ready to go out for war, so that your garment would actually not get in the way. So,
so you just wouldn't trip over it and stuff.
What was that?
So your knees wouldn't get caught up in your garment and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So he was saying, gird up your loins like a man. That would means to get ready to go to war. So I mean, we did have on body armor and things like that, of that nature. But when we read Ephesians, hey Benai, can you go to Ephesians? Someone grab that?
Come on.
We was reading earlier. Let's say put on the full armor.
Chapter 6, verse 11. Come on. This is the book of Ephesians. Chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yah, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So we're wrestling against spiritual wickedness. So physical armor would not protect us against spiritual wickedness. These rulers of darkness is ruling through the spirit of the high Shaitan. So he's the prince of the air, and he rules through darkness. But they call themselves light bearers. They call themselves Luciferians, which means to be a light barrier. This is what the Illuministic people refer to themselves, the Masonic people, but they're light. If you read some of the Mores and Dogma, it tells you what's over is under. So much of what they say, you gotta take that and twist it. It's topsy-turvy. So they're saying one thing, but they literally mean another.
So when you said there's like the rulers of darkness of this world, is there rulers of like actual light, not Luciferians, but rulers of righteousness?
Those that walk in the spirit of Hamashiach.
Well, that's great news. I was thinking like the Sephrim or the cherubim, like these great.
The cherubim is what the Most High put at the gate to prevent Adam and Eve from getting back in the garden.
Okay. And what were the Sephrim again? Maybe
those are two different types of angelic beings.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. I've definitely had some strange encounters with angelic beings, and they might have saved my life multiple times. But on the topic you guys were talking about earlier with alcohol, I've seen it take people's lives on the road, and You know, the spirits are out there. And with wine, just because it's called wine doesn't mean it's not a spirit. It's just
That's
crazy.
why I don't drink because of that. I had a very close family member that drank themselves to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I promised when I got older that I would never drink because it was around me too much. So when I went into the military, people was like, "Nah, man, you're going overseas. You're gonna drink. Alcohol is so cheap. You're gonna drink." I said, "No, man, I'm not gonna drink." And they will offer me beer, like, "Yo, you spoiled me for war. Why don't you drink? Have a beer. One beer is not." No, I don't drink because that will come back to my mind what I saw, and if that's what alcohol does to someone, I don't want that in my body.
Yeah,
Just by doing what?
I think there was a verse that said, drink of the wine and then experience the wrath of God.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people, you'll be catching that. You'll go out and drink, and the spirits will see you drunk, and they will give you some wrath. That's for sure. Yeah. That is for sure. Don't be out drinking and driving. Especially don't be drinking.
Yeah, drinking makes some people very violent, man. Very, very violent. See, people that get drunk, they start shooting. You know, this is what happened at a lot of these parties, man. Spirits, you know, you accidentally step on someone's sneaker. You step on someone's rubber, they want to take your life for it. That's a spirit right there.
Right.
If you really think about it, man, it's just some rubber that someone put a name on. And you step on it, they're going to take a life. They're going to deprive a life for that.
Yeah, or people, you know, take their own lives on it. Take their own cognitive functions off from it. It's their choice, too, which I think they're, you know, I was an idiot for a while and drank in high school. I lost friends drinking and driving. And the point is that you're going to learn or you're not going to learn. If you keep going back to it, it's something's going to come for you, and it'll be pretty scary. And yeah, you got to keep your mind right, and you got to get right with the Lord. Because if you're walking after the flesh and you're out here drinking, that's when bad shit really happens. I don't know why necessarily I've lived past certain things. Maybe it's because I went through spiritual death. I've experienced what it's like to walk after the spirit and not the flesh. But, you know, that's just my testimony, but that's the truth. Is what has happened to me is I watch people who are very worldly drink and lose their lives. I drank. I would get pretty much caught up in emotions, right? And feel like I needed to reach out to God, but man, he wasn't going to be hearing my prayers while I was inebriated as a drunkard. No, I needed to clean myself up first. Wasn't going to forgive while you're drunk. Guess that's why you don't want to have a heavy heart. All right. Well, yeah.
I gotta give it to Ed for getting up here, man. For real. Hats off to the guy.
Yeah, shalom. Kahan. Well, you guys can go forth. I'll always be listening and trying to be steadfast. And, you know, Godspeed to all you. But I'll let the message go forth. I don't want to take away from the message or anything, because you guys are truly knowledge, and I appreciate everything y'all have to do. And I thank the Most High every day for blessing me with being able to, I don't know, this bliss of learning under somebody who actually knows the truth about the Bible. I used to read it all over, and I didn't understand it. But when you really listen to somebody who can explain it, it can change your entire perception of the Bible. Like, I used to think I was Jacob in the Bible for a while. I was like, Jacob's wrestling with God. That sounds like me, right? Well, I mean, we can all see the truth of who people are in the end. And there might be metaphors within these deep meanings of the past of who our ancestors were, but there's also a reality that, you know, some of it can be metaphorical, I guess, but don't miss the literal meaning. That could help save you. Shalom, and thanks for answering my questions. Yeah, I guess I'll peace out and definitely be continuing to watch the video.
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom. Yeah, anyone else? Anyone else?
Is there no one else?
Someone trying to come in.
Okay, good deal.
Oh, Dwayne.
Shabbat Shalom, family. I just wanted to share a testimony in regards to the power of alcohol. I have a family member who once a year goes through this psychotic break. She has an episode for maybe 2 days to about a week and a half or so, where she just, as you were bringing out earlier, just goes completely off the handles. She lashes out. She literally acts like a child having a tantrum. And I remember, being there when it started happening. And her husband had to warn me. He was like, yo, dude, she's not in her proper place right now. Like, if she asks you anything or, says anything, just don't believe her, and just kind of stay away from her if you can. And, she just like put herself in front of me. But I remember it was a trip because at this point in time, I wasn't, rooted in the scriptures at all. And the look in her eyes was so blank. Like I wouldn't know if I've came across any serial killers in my life, but she had this stale look. Like I didn't know if she was gonna stab me or give me a hug. And I was literally fearful for my life. Like it was not the same person that I had known before. And this person is not, like this at all when she's normal. And the thing that tripped me out is, she wasn't drunk when she was having these episodes. But, I put 2 and 2 together because they drink heavily and they've been drinking for a long time. And she doesn't take any medication whatsoever, except when she has these episodes. So I just want to let people know that, liquor or any other intoxicant and or any pharmaceutical drug, really, those all have wicked spirits on them, and they all carry very low vibrational energies. So if you're putting them in your body, they're not just going to be there for that time and the allotted time of their duration within the time you take them. They're going to linger there for, days, years, and so forth and so forth. And if you have children, you're, liable for passing that on to them as well. So, like those energies are very powerful. They're very, present. And they do look to jump out and pull you in with them. So be careful.
Yeah, I just want to go over the garments that the high priest wore versus the regular priest. So the brother that was just on here can understand what I was talking about now. Someone get the book of Exodus, the 28th chapter. Exodus chapter 28. Start reading that verse 1. I'm going to say this. In the ancient times, in the temple in Jerusalem, and even before the temple was built, the Mishkan, which was actually a temporary dwelling place before the temple was built, the priests were literally required to wear special clothing during their services. They did not dress like regular men. Now, these special clothing, you could find these in the book of Exodus, the 28th chapter. Someone got that? And these clothings, and we will see when we read this, that these clothing describe the high priest, how he dressed differently from the ordinary priest. The ordinary priest, they was to wear 4 garments, whereas the high priest wore 8 garments. And we could find this in the book of Exodus. Now, the 4 garments of the regular priest, they wore either mitri, so modern day they probably call it hat. They wore a girdle, modern day they will call it a belt. And they wore linen breeches. Modern day they will call that pants. And they wore a tunic, right? Which in modern day they call a jacket. You see what I'm saying? So, but in addition to these 4 garments, the high priest had these 4 garments on also, but the high priest wore 4 more garments. And one of them was a breastplate. So, this is, when they're saying put on the whole armor of the Most High, the full armor was all these elements. But the high priest wore the breastplate. He wore the ephod. Now, the ephod is an apron-like garment. This is what you see a lot of these damn Masons wear. They got this from our Israelite wear that our high priest wore. That's why the Masons wear a damn apron. The high priest also wore a robe, and he wore a golden headband. That's what different the high priest from the regular priest. And on his breastplate, he had on those crystals, each one representing one of the 12 tribes. So the 4 garments of the ordinary priest, they were basically regular simple garments. The pants was typically white linen. This is where we read that make them linen breeches. And they wore a tunic also, which they call a jacket in modern day. And what they call the mitri, like, the brother that just had on, they would wrap that mitri around their head. Someone got that in the book of Exodus chapter 28.
Come on. It's the book of Exodus chapter 28. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him.
See, Aaron was the high priest. Read on.
From among the children of Yasharallah, that he may minister unto me in the priest office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abu, Eleazar, and Itamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother, for glory and for beauty.
See that?
Verse 3. And thou shalt speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the spirit of wisdom, that they may make Aaron's garments, to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate and an ephod.
See that? That breastplate and the ephod. The breastplate had 12 stones on it, were represented the 12 stones of the 12 tribes of Israel. Only the high priest wore that.
And a robe, and a embroidered coat, and a mitri, and a girdle.
Now,
and they shall make
a mitri is what that brother had on his head. Did you guys be seeing me wear all the time? They called it a michi. Sometimes people call it turbans. Okay.
All right. A mitri and a girdle.
See that? The girdle in modern day, they called it a belt.
And they shall make holy garments for Aaron thy brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. Verse 6. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet and fine twined linen, with cunning work. It shall have the two shoulder pieces thereof joined at the two edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together.
Kahan, when I used to go to these meetings with these Israelites, you see about 10, 11 guys walking down with a damn high priest breastplate on. How the hell are you going to have 10, 12 high priests? These guys killed me, man. They see this as a power trip.
And so it shall be joined together. Verse 8. And the curious girdle of the ephod, which is upon it, shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen.
Yeah, we could stop right there, man. If they want to read some more, they could read the rest on their own. But the high priest only wore that, man. The regular priest didn't wear everything that the high priest wore. Then you got Israelites walking around, and they've been in the truth like 2 years. They're walking around with high priest breastplates on. Hey, look at me. Something they didn't get off of Amazon. The Most High didn't sanction that, man.
Right.
The Most High didn't sanction that. They want to look a certain part, man. You watch them in the videos, you see some of them with it on, man. They got on a high priest breastplate.
Yeah, I didn't understand what that was until I, sat down and really read this. But I thought it was just like some chain everybody was just wearing.
That represents the highest ranking priest in Israel. It's only one of them. It could only be one at a time.
Right.
At this particular time, it was Aaron. When Hamashiach walked or if it was Caiaphas, part of that Sanhedrin. Those Pharisees. Get Zephaniah 1 verse 8. This is my last scripture, man. We're going to shut this thing down. Israel's a joke, man. These people, these modern day Israelites, man. You understand what I'm saying, Malachi? They're a joke, man. You probably seen somewhere you were, Malachi. Dressed up like high priest.
Don't get me started, Kahan.
Yeah, I know one. Hey, Benaiah, one dude, man. When I went to a couple of them damn summits, I won't say his name. One guy had a damn high priest breastplate on. Piece of damn metal kept chinking. That thing was ignored. It was annoying me, man. Every time he would move, it sounds like a piece of cheap metal, man. Piece of a damn aluminum around his neck, man.
That's that fake jewelry.
Yeah. Ain't no damn gold, man. It's a piece of damn metal. It kept clinking. You know when metal's hitting on metal?
Like 2 soda cans.
Yeah, I thought someone was going to say gas. You know what I'm talking about, Malachi? Universal sign for gas, man. Metal on metal. Gas.
No lie, for real. And that cheap stuff.
God. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you hear that sign, man, if you've been in the military, you wouldn't been in the military, you know what I'm saying? They know what I'm talking about, man. Universal sign for gas is, doing your biceps or that metal on metal, man. That's gas. It's a contaminated nuclear biological threat.
Damn.
Whenever you hear metal on metal, you better go into Mach 4.
God knows other NBCs.
Right. right. Nuclear, biological, chemical. That NBC, nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. That was during the time of the Cold War. It was big then.
Book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 8. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children and all such as are clothed with strange apparel.
But you know, all kind of weird stuff, man. You dressed up with a big ass unk on your chest. Dog, I'm Egyptologist. You got an upside down pentagram on your chest, representing the church of High Shaitan. The sheriff wears that. Sheriff has a pentagram. That's what the sheriff's badge is. It's a pentagram, 5-pointed star. When it's inverted, it represents Satan. That's all I got, man. Anyone else got anything else before we shut it down? Marty, Raymond?
I was gonna ask right quick, Kahan, like, well, this has nothing to do with this. How do you get your music to play automatically off of Wix?
Oh, it has to be a setting or something there. But now Google and a lot of the websites prevent that from doing. That's why yours is not playing automatically. Before it used to, but now Google got some type of if you're using a Google browser, it stops certain websites from playing the music automatically. So there's nothing wrong with your setting. It's what they're doing.
The water for that. They just messed it up.
Yeah, I done some research on it because my songs had stopped playing automatically when it was playing that way for years. It's Google's doing that. I think Safari's doing it also.
Come on, I noticed that with the site, True Disciples of Christ, it would play that song. Don't play no more.
Right. It's because Google started doing that. When I done some research, I found out they was responsible. If you're using a Google browser, your songs may no longer play automatically in some regions. If you go to a different region of the world, they click on it, it might play. That's something, isn't it? You know, they couldn't do anything like this unless the government allowed it.
Right.
Hell of a world we live in, man. And I'm ready to get the hell up out of hell. So, man, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, man. Got to do a webinar tomorrow. Let's say shalom to everyone, man. Thank everyone for tuning in.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.